Okay, so good morning, class. This is the recording for our discussion on authentic assessment. Okay, so I have to apologize already if you can see me holding the mic here because I have to hold this, put the mic close to my mouth para marinig niyo ako. But nonetheless, we move on to our lesson for today. Okay, which is again authentic assessment. Now, um, according to Merriam-Webster, when we talk about authentic, okay, sabi niya, this is something that is worthy of acceptance or belief as conforming to or based on facts. Okay, so if we connect that with assessment, of course, we have to see that when we say authentic assessment, this is something that is worthy of being used or accepted in real life. Okay? Kasi yun po yung pinagbabasehan natin ng facts, di ba? Ng norms, yung ating real life. Okay? So, what exactly is to be done or what exactly makes an assessment authentic? Okay? So, yun po yung pag-uusapan natin when we're talking about authentic assessment. Okay? So, sabi dito, to answer these two questions, we say that all tasks done in real life are authentic. So, we have to determine if these skills, okay, are actually obtained by the students during the instruction. Okay, so the idea there is all performance tasks. Okay, sorry, let me rephrase that. All authentic tasks are performance tasks. Okay, but not all performance tasks are authentic tasks. Ano ba ibig sabihin nun? Okay? When you do something in your job, usually that is an authentic skill because it is related to your job. But not everything that you do is related to your job. Okay? So yun po yung pinaka concept when it comes to the difference between authentic and performance assessment. Okay? So as you can see here in our module, okay, the first things first, oopsie, ang una natin discuss would be kung ano ba yung parts ng assessment. Okay? So, napag-aralan muna natin yan, but let's just review. When we say assessment, this is the process of gathering data and information about what students know and what they can do. Okay? So, dito po nakapasok lahat ng methods, ng tools na ginagamit natin to get data. Okay? Kasama dito yung paggawa ng quizzes, yung paggawa ng interviews, paggawa ng observation checklist, etc. etc. Okay? So, some of those ay nagawa niyo na nung ating assessment of learning or assessment in learning 1. Okay? Now, the process of getting data is actually what is used or what is used as basis for the achievement of your objectives. Okay? So, hindi mo masasabing na-achieve mo yung isang objective pag wala kang data to back it up. And what are these data? This data is gathered through our evaluation tools or assessment tools. The next term that we will review is the definition of evaluation. This is the action of critiquing and interpreting the data collected through assessment so that you will have an inference or a conclusion as to the current skills of your learners. That is according to Navarro and Santos. Okay? As the pair suggests, information gathered through assessment has little utility value until it is used to determine if a certain individual has the competency level or if they have achieved the learning objectives. Ano po ibig sabihin nito? We can gather as many data as we want. Okay? Pwede tayo magpa-quiz araw-araw sa mga bata. But that is very much useless if we cannot put it into an evaluative conclusion. Okay? Itong mga scores mo ng bata na nakolekta mo, is it, um, what do you call this? Is it representative of their skills? If not, what are you going to do? Okay? Kasama din po sa evaluation kasi yung mga next steps na gagawin mo, di ba? Pag na-achieve mo yung isang objective, good. What's next? Pag hindi mo na-achieve yung isang objective, you have to determine, anong gagawin ko para ma-achieve ng bata yung objective na gusto kong maabot niya. Okay? And then you also have the term testing. Okay? When you say testing, this is basically administering your assessment tool. Nothing more, nothing less. Kasama na din sa testing, yung pagtingin natin ng mga internal or external errors na maaaring makadamage sa ating administration of the testing. Okay? So again, testing sa administration yan nakafocus. And the test is simply a synonym for the evaluative tool that we are going to use. Okay? So the next term that we have here is marks. So when we say marks, this is basically the reports of the evaluation. Usually nakikita to sa inyong mga grades. Okay? Kung si Chris ay naka-1, kung si Mark ay naka-2. Okay? Yung ibang grading system, ganun yung ginagamit. Sa atin, ginagamit natin yung from 50 to 100. So, yung iba sa inyo, maaaring sobrang galing, nakakuha ng 100. Okay? Nonetheless, these are called marks. Okay? So, when we are giving marks to our students, usually may mga pinagkukuhanan tayong parts dyan. Okay? And bago ka pa makapagbigay ng marks, kailangan kang mag-set criteria kung saan mo kukuhanin yung mga weights ng marks na iyon. Okay? For example, sa ating assessment and learning, to dalawa lang yung pinagkukuhanan natin ng marks. Yung inyong exams and inyong mga quizzes and activities. 50-50 yung ginagamit ko doon. Okay? So itong 50-50 na ito po yung criteria. Okay? Na pinagkukuhanan ko kung kayo ba ay papasa or hindi. And of course, since objective usually itong mga task natin, ang criteria, pag naka-zero ka sa pag tama ka sa isang item, may 1 point ka. Pag mali ka sa isang item, you get no point on that item. Okay? So there are many ways in how assessment is done. So yung iba, ang ginagamit, mga paper test, mga exams, katulad ng inyong entrance exam, di ba? Paper and pen and paper test iyon. Presentations, kapag kayo ay nagre-report, kayo ay nagre-present ng isang object. Kasama na yung reporting doon, of course. Or pwede kayong magkaroon ng mga products like portfolios or journals. Okay? As teachers po, kayo po ay gagawa ng mga sandamakmak na portfolio and journals, especially when it comes to your field studies. Di ba? Kinocompile nyo lahat ng mga natutunan nyo doon or nagsasagot kayo ng mga essay type questions to show or to prove that you have learned something and then kinocompile nyo yun. That's an example of a portfolio or a journal. Of course, you're also tasked to demonstrate your skills or your performances through mock demos. Or di naman kaya, sa ibang mga subject, gumagamit sila ng mga pageants, ng mga role plays, etc., etc. Okay? Ang mga tool na ito, natutunan naman natin last time that they have their own purposes, that they have their own strengths and weaknesses, and they are highly dependent on what kind of target you want to achieve. Is it a knowledge target, a performance target, or even an effective target? Okay? So the tool depends on what the teacher wants to measure. So ito na nga, objective, yung target. The tools themselves or the qualitative marks given by a teacher is an example of evaluation. Okay? So ano po yung ibig sabihin ng mga iyon? Okay? Yung teacher po kasi yung gumawa ng test. Right? Okay? So yung teacher, alam niya kung ano yung magandang score. Siyempre, sasabihin niya rin naman yan sa inyo. But usually kasi pag objective yan, may mga nakaset yan na formulas on how to get from your raw score to your weighted score to your final grade. Okay? Pag walang ganun, pagka performance, di ba, subjective yan, kailangan yan ng rubric. Pag nabigyan na kayo ng score doon sa rubric, na-evaluate na kayo agad. Okay? So, um, in modern times, assessment is usually documented in line of pursuit with higher educational institutions to showcase the competencies of the learners. Okay? So, anong documentation po ba yung hinahanap nila? Okay? So, sa DepEd, of course, kailangan nyo yung mga quizzes ng bata. Kailangan nyo yung actual na learnings nila, yung mga actual outputs. Minsan, tinatago pa yun sa school. Dati, nung elementary kami, ang pinakahinahanap ng DepEd ay portfolio. Actually, hanggang ngayon, ganun ang hahanapin ninyo. Ganun ang usually pinapagawa sa mga bata, especially if their subjects are more on the objective side. Okay? Pero sa mga subjects like research, usually ang kanilang final output, ang pinaka-final evidence of their learning would be a research. Sa science, minsan may mga investigatory projects yan at the end of the semester or at the end of the what do you call this, the school year. Okay? So yung mga yun pong evidences, mga concrete evidences are hinahanap, okay, are required by the educational institutions. Kaya kayo pinapagawa ng mga ganun yun ng teachers. And also because these types of evidences actually show authentic assessment. Okay? So how do you make an assessment authentic? Okay? So ang main argument kasi ng particular assessment tool ay ang kanyang accuracy. So natutunan natin to in our previous lessons. When we say accuracy, we're talking about validity. When we are talking about validity, we're talking about the content validity, the construct validity, and the criterion related validity. Okay? Kasi hindi po lahat ng pen and paper test, um, hindi po yun yung pinaka-valid sa lahat ng mga requirements natin. Okay? So, pen and paper test, it's good for testing knowledge and reasoning. However, if you want to test the actual skills of the learners, the performance of the learner, you're going to require them to make a demonstration or performance. And yung tool na yun, ang ginagamit natin doon ay rubric. So how can we be sure na accurate yung rubric na yun? Meron kang content validation. Okay? A teacher must justify why an assessment tool is appropriate for measuring information on a competency. Okay? We have talked last time about what you call errors. Okay? Kasi kahit gaano kagaling po kayong gumawa ng assessment tool, okay, there will always be error on any assessment tool. Okay? There are always arguments on why this assessment tool is used, on why other assessment tools are rejected. Okay? So, ito po mga arguments na ito, yung kailangan gamitin ng teachers to prove that that an assessment is authentic. Okay? So, ang definition po ng authentic assessment according to Mueller is it is a form of assessment in which the students are tasked to perform real-world tasks that demonstrate meaningful application of essential knowledge and skills. Okay, ano yung kailangan natin kunin dito? We're talking about real-world tasks. Kaya po malaki yung percentage ng inyong mga demo teachings is that demo teaching is a representation of the real world task that you are going to perform in your future career. Okay? Kaya po mataas yung percentage ng mga public speaking, ng paggawa ng portfolio, ng pag-aayos ng grades, ng paggawa ng test. Because again, those things are expected from you when you are going to work in your field. Okay? And also, this demonstrations allows you to apply your knowledge, di ba? Marami tayong iba't ibang uri ng knowledge. Hindi lang yung mga factual knowledge, meron din tayong procedural, conceptual, and metacognitive knowledge. Okay? So all of those knowledge culminate in your skills. And doon po kayo nagkakaroon ng pagkakaiba-iba. Doon po nakikita ng inyong mga teachers on what type of knowledge are you missing out on. Okay? So again, ang authentic assessment, it focuses on doing real world or real life tasks. Okay? Now, according naman kay Wiggins in 1993, sabi niya, authentic assessment, ang haba pa ng definition niya, are engaging in worthy problems or questions of worthy importance in which students must use knowledge. Okay, haba-haba. Ano lang ba ibig sabihin niya? It means authentic assessment daw must be engaging. It must be worthy of being solved. It must be worthy of being learned. Okay? These types of problems daw should allow us to perform creative tasks or creative actions to answer a particular problem. And these kinds of problems should be replicas or analogous to the problems faced by adult citizens or professionals or consumers in the field. Okay? So talagang dito ine-emphasize yung usefulness or basically yung pagkakatulad ng authentic assessment sa real life. Okay? So ito po, nagbigay po ako ng isa example dito. Huwag po kayo mag-alala. nakalimutan ko lang magbigay na ibang examples dito pero sa akin naman po galing yan. Pakibasa na lang po on that particular part. Okay? So, ang isa pang definition ng authentic assessment is that this performance assessment call upon the examinee to demonstrate a specific skill and apply the knowledge. Okay? So, dito, nilalapit ni Wiggins yung definition ng performance assessment sa authentic assessment. Pero sir, sabi niyo kanina magkaiba yun. Well, yes, magkaiba talaga yan. Because remember, when we're talking about authentic assessment, these are worthy problems of solving. Di ba? Mga problems na kailangan mong matutunan or masagot in order for you to function properly in your work, in your career. But if your performance assessment is pinag-perform ka lang, pinagsayaw ka lang, di ba? If pinalaro ka lang, those are performances. Okay? However, are you going to use it? Okay? Minsan kasi may mga performance na assessment na masasabi mo, ah yes, this is a skill. But you also have to ask, is the performance assessment the best, the most reflective of the authentic skill na kailangan ng bata sa kanyang gagamitin? So ano po yung dito? Um, magiging problem po dito. Okay? Sabi ko kasi dito, authentic assessment is also called performance assessment, alternative assessment, and direct assessment. This is according to Navarro and Santos 2013. Okay? So that's according to Navarro and Santos. But right now, I have to remind you, class, that when you are making performance assessment is authentic assessment if and only if they are properly made, if they are properly vetted, if they are properly justified in using that particular performance assessment. Okay? So, um, ano na ba yung pinaka kailangan mong makuha when you're talking about performance assessment? It's this. Performance assessment, authentic assessment is any type of assessment that allows your students to apply their skills in real life wherein the said skills are to be used in their future career, in their life, or in their particular fields of study. Okay? So, yun po yung mga requirements. Kailangan magagamit mo siya particularly in your next stages of life. Okay? Meron po kasi mga performance assessment na medyo malayo, pero medyo konti na lang yun. Kasi one can argue na lahat naman ng ginagawa natin parte ng buhay, di ba? So one can argue that. However, since we are only focusing on the more authentic assessments, mas nagiging specific na tayo. Okay? Minsan, dati, nagpapasolve lang tayo ng grades. But now, kasama na sa authentic assessment natin yung pag-intindi ng mga Excel, pag-intindi ng mga statistical tool, pag-intindi ng presentation tools. Okay? Dati, medyo broad pa yon ang performance assessment na yon. Ngayon, mas nagiging specific na siya. Okay, what else? Authentic assessment allows you to creatively answer a problem. When I say creatively, uniquely. Okay? Bawat isa sa atin, merong mga unique ways on how to solve a problem. Okay? So, authentic assessment should allow for those deviations of answering a problem. Okay? So, ano po yung implication pa nun? Implication po nun, wala kang inaasahan na close-ended answer. Ang inaasahan mo ay napakaraming varieties na pwede kang makuha. For example, pag nagpagawa ako ng lesson plan, inaasahan ko na iba-iba kayo ng lesson, inaasahan ko na iba-iba kayo ng activities, inaasahan ko na iba-iba kayo ng pag-flow ng classroom assessment. Because authentic assessment allows for deviations in the performances. Okay? So yun po ang basically idea ng ating authentic assessment. Okay? So that's all for this particular video. Part 1 pa lang naman to. I'll see you all on the next parts, which is containing the characteristic of authentic assessment. Okay, that's all class. Bye!